I will call to order our regular scheduled city council meeting of September the 18th, 2023, at approximately 7:02 p.m. The record reflect that all members of council are present. Mr. Allgood is present via Zoom. Appreciate you being there. He waves, so we're good to go there. He can hear us, him. So, let the record reflect our city administrator, Mr. Duncan, is here, along with Miss Cindy Miller, who keeps us all straight, or attempts to. Various other department heads. Appreciate y'all being here. And our illustrious city attorney, Mr. Daniel Hughes. Lusterless, whatever it is. All right. We're always doing that. So we appreciate that. And also any visitors here, we're welcome, each and every one of you here to our meeting tonight. Especially welcome our visitors from various, do I get it right, DAR chapters. And we appreciate y'all having you, and we'll recognize them in a few moments. Next item on the agenda is our invocation and pledge of allegiance. Please, Mr. Crayland.
Please bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the great things you've given us. Thank you for this country, this state, this great city, Mauldin, which we live in. Thank you for all the blessings you've given us individually. And if it be your will, please help those who are struggling right now, who are in emotional pain, who need your love, your guidance, or your will. And help our country come together. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Crayland. That pause for a second while I sign this. Cindy had told me to. Next item on the agenda is proclamation presentations. We have one, our Constitution Week proclamation. I would ask our visitors from the DAR if they would join me out front, and I will come around there. Week, which I bring it down here. You want to start over? You got it. All right, my fault to them. Hopefully they did hear that I was recognized that the two chapters of the day are here with us tonight for this. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And whereas September 17th, 2023 marks the 236th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, I, Terry Merritt, Mayor of the City of Mauldin, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim the week of September 7th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. And on that behalf, as mayor, I present you with this proclamation, along with my former classmate at Hillcrest High School, 19 sometime. I appreciate it. That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I know Kathy well enough to say if I asked her to say a few words, we'll be here 25 minutes, so I won't do that. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you. Next item is the reading approval of minutes. We have in our packet, we've had since last weekend, the city council meeting of August 23rd, 2023 for our consideration. Are there any noted changes, updates, comments to the minutes as submitted? Hearing none, I would ask for unanimous consent on the approval of the minutes. Anyone opposed, say aye. Speak now, I guess. Everybody good? All right, we will accept the minutes as submitted. The next item before us is public comment. Do we have anybody via Zoom? No one signed up, so all right, good there. Next item is a report from our city administrator.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Excited to be with you again tonight. Just have a few items for everybody. So first of all, so tickets are still on sale right now for Hunchback of Notre Dame, which will kick off Mauldin Theater Company's season for 23-24. The show will feature more than 50 talented actors and singers as they bring Victor Hugo's story to life, as well as sing the score of the 1996 Oscar-nominated Disney movie. I did have a chance to sneak into the theater on Saturday to see the set, and it is amazing to see what they've created in there. So hope everyone will come out. Tickets are on sale now for shows that start this Thursday and will run through next weekend as well. So make sure you get your tickets. As I also wanted to do a quick recap on the Suey Barbecue Festival. So we held our 13th annual Suey Barbecue Cook-Off this past weekend, presented by South Carolina Federal Credit Union. Suey attracted thousands of barbecue lovers to sample some of the best barbecue in South Carolina. Guests were treated to samples from more than 27 cookers over the two-day event, as well as great music and more. This year, the top honors by the South Carolina Barbecue Association went to Desmond Goins of Daddy Blues Barbecue, with the Gabe Hunter People's Choice Award going to Tony Sadler of In the Army Q. That's kind of fun. As you can imagine, a lot of planning and effort went into this event, and it would not be possible without the hard work and effort of our city departments and our many volunteers. I want to thank our Public Works Department, police and fire departments, recreation, and the entire staff of the Mauldin Cultural Center, including Miss Christine Faust, Gina McAtee, Christopher Parker, and Allison Burrell. Thank you so much for all that they do and for the organizing another successful Suey, and we hope everyone will join us again next year. Next item, I wanted to just remind everyone that Mauldin Police Department will host National Night Out on October 3rd, 2023 from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Mauldin Cultural Center Outdoor Amphitheater at 101 East Butler Road. The family-friendly event will include a canine demonstration, dance performances, fire and DUI education, touch a truck, face painting, bounce houses, balloon art, and a petting zoo. Guests will include the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, Greenville Triumph, Children's Museum of the Upstate, and the Blood Connection. And music will be provided by Super Joe of the Edge Entertainment. Free hot dogs, soda, chips, shaved ice, cotton candy, and more will be available while supplies last. For those who aren't familiar, National Night Out is an annual community building campaign that promotes police community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie to make neighborhoods safer, more caring places to live. The event is designed to bring police and neighbors together under positive circumstances to enhance relationships and build trust while fostering a sense of community. And the last thing I wanted to mention real quick, several of us were over at the fire station last week for a more than 4-hour comprehensive review of the fire station. It is nearly done. We were able to go and walk with Stuart Cooper Newell and our contractor Cloverleaf on the project and walk through and go through an entire punch list. Most of the items were minor, paint or some cleaning. And so we hope that they'll have those knocked out in a few weeks and they'll be ready to hand us the keys to the new fire station. And then that will begin planning a transition period from this firehouse to the other. And then we'll do a hose uncoupling and other ceremonial activities later this fall. That's my report.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Next item, report from standing committees. Our first committee, Finance and Policy, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a little bit on ours where we had an update during our committee meeting that auditors have been on site or at least contacting, get lots of information for the upcoming audit. And that's the most exciting thing we've got going on in finance right now. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Public Safety, Ms. King.
Nothing to report at this time, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works, Mr. Frayland.
Nothing reported this time, sir.
Sir. Economic Planning and Development, Mr. Matney.
It's a beautiful day in Mauldin, Mayor.
Sir. Building Codes, Ms. Kuzner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If I could, I'd like to read the report from the Business and Development Services Department. Their department performed a record-breaking 2,333 building inspections during the month of August, which blew right past the previous monthly record of 2,063 set back in May of this year. They also issued a record-breaking 625 residential permits during the month of August, which shattered the previous record of 490, which was set in June. Of those residential permits, a record-breaking 111 permits were for new homes. Previous record was 94 in March of 2022. The department issued a building permit for another new business coming to Bridgeway Station, which is called Cocoa Bowls. And their department issued licenses for 14 new businesses planning to open their doors in the city of Mauldin. And in addition, this is in addition to 9 new home businesses that were licensed in August. Thank you.
Thank you. Busy month.
Yep.
Recreation, Mr. Allgood.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize for not being able to be there in the city of Mauldin today. I'm coming to you from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Yes, I will bring you back some chocolate. But we have 2 items from recreation that I wanted to mention. The first is that we have basketball registration that is going to begin next month, October 1st to the 31st. That's ages 5 through 12. And we also have a Mauldin Community Cleanup Day set for October 28th at 9 a.m. So those are 2 things that are coming up. And then later in the meeting, we have some exciting news about the senior center that we'll be sharing. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Next item, unfinished business ordinances on second reading. Ms. Miller.
There are 2 ordinances for second reading tonight. The first one is ordinance 1021, an ordinance to provide for the annexation of property owned by Charles Michael Hendricks and located at 2114 and 2118 Standing Springs Road by 100% petition method and to establish a zoning classification of R10 residential.
I believe this is coming out of building codes. Ms. Kuzner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'll make a motion to approve this on second reading.
Second.
I have a second. I have a motion from Ms. Kuzner and a second from Mr. Matney. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous. Miller.
Next is ordinance 1022, an ordinance to rezone property consisting of approximately 6 acres located at Ashmore Bridge Road and Fort Shoals Road, and all of lots 678 through 694 of Arden Woods Phase 6, and providing an effective date.
Back to you, Ms. Kuzner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make a motion to approve this on second reading.
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. Kuzner and a second from Mr. Matney to approve on second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous. No first reading, new business, standing committee. Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to appoint Mr. Dan Chisholm to the Planning Commission.
Ms. Kuzner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make a motion to approve Mr. Chisholm's application for seat 5 on the Planning Commission.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Matney. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to accept Mr. Dan Chisholm for seat 5 on the planning commission, say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous.
Council is requested to execute a resolution and a right-of-way assignment of facilities and a quitclaim deed for the transfer of assets from renewable water resources to the city of Mauldin.
Thank you. I believe that's coming from Public Works, Mr. Crayland.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to execute the right-of-way assignment of facilities and the quick claim deed for the transfer of assets from Rewa to the city of Mauldin.
Thank you, Mr. Crayland. Is there a second?
Second.
Second with Ms. King. Any discussion? Question would be for the minutes. Legal has had a chance to look this over and we're good to go. Got that? Yeah. Repeat that if you would, please, sir.
I reviewed the documents provided by REWA and I have approved those.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Okay, we have a motion and a second to execute the right-of-way assignment of facilities and the quick claim deed. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimously. Back to you, Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to approve a capital improvement plan for fire station capital improvements to be funded by appropriations from the FY 23-24 South Carolina State budget.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Public Safety, Ms. King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to make the motion to approve the capital expenditures with funding provided via state appropriations from the fiscal year 23-24 South Carolina State budget.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second for Mr. Reynolds. Any discussion? Mr. Matney.
I just want to take a quick second, and I've done it before, but I want to say it again. Thanks to our legislative delegation members for fighting for the city of Mauldin with these needed funds.
Thanks, sir.
Second.
Third.
We got ditto from Mr. Reynolds and a ditto from Ms. King. Those of you that saw the movie understand ditto. A motion to approve the capital expenditures with the funding provided via state appropriations. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous. Miller.
Council is requested to approve a capital improvement plan for the senior center to be funded by appropriations from the FY 23-24 South Carolina State budget.
Okay, thank you, sir. That's coming from Recreation. Mr. Allgood.
Thank you, Mayor. Much like we just heard from Mr. Matney about the excitement for the fire stations, I too am very excited about for the senior center. So I would like to make a motion at this time for council to approve a capital improvement plan for the senior center to be funded by appropriations from the fiscal 2023-24 South Carolina State budget as outlined in your packet.
Mr. Allgood, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Reynolds. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the capital improvement plan for the senior center to be funded by appropriations from the FY 23-24 South Carolina State budget as presented in the packet, say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries unanimous. Miller.
Council is requested to consider a development agreement for the installation of a multi-purpose trail at Alston Town subdivision.
Okay, that's coming from Economic Development. Mr. Matney.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve a development agreement for the installation of a multipurpose trail at Alston Town subdivision, including a reimbursement not to exceed $115,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Craling. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the development agreement for the installation of multi-purpose trail at Alston Town subdivision as outlined in your packet not to exceed $115,000. All those in favor say aye.
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 Oppose, same. Hearing none, motion carries unanimous. We are now back to public comment. No public comment via Zoom nor in person, so we're good to go there. Council concerns. Hearing none. What's the pleasure of council on adjournment?
So moved.
Have a
I don't know, Mayor. I mean, it's only 7:24.
like to sing and dance a few minutes for us.
Let me read.
All right, so I would assume that was a second from Mr. Matney on adjournment.
Yes, it was.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, here none. We stand adjourned at 7:23. Or that's 7:24. Yeah.
Shakespeare.
For those who choose.